Mindfreak to deal with him. So maybe that could be a factor when we potentially get onto maybe like Route 66, for example. I guess to an extent you could maybe run Pharah on Dorado, that we don't tend to see it quite as much. But that's something I think that you have to keep in the back of your mind right now as Mindfreak, is that if that comes out again from Athletico, which it probably won't here on Hanamura, but if it does in the next map, you need to maybe have that one map advantage, because how are you going to deal with that when you weren't able to do it on Hollywood? So for me, I think not necessarily a must-win here for Mindfreak, but I think I would like to see Mindfreak get the win here to make me feel a little bit more comfortable and at least making it through to the tiebreaker.
All right. Well, we'll see how it plays out. Mindfreak on defense. Look at this Doofus. Going to come out straight away here from Cool Whip. No Zarya this time around. Mindfreak just waiting for Athletico to go the long way round, out over the high ground, going to walk their way back onto the point. Not a bad way to play it. And well, Ladski going to go down straight away to Money, so a very big pick from coming out from the support here, Jordan. Yeah,
Cool Whip trying to get some work done here on Doomfist, but he's just not able to get the damage out. And again, we're going to see the same defensive setup crumble very, very easily in the end. An ill-timed dive, a poorly timed dive, I think, out from
7 minutes.
Yeah, I don't think it was great from Mindfreak. They just a little bit staggered in the dive there, and it was Lasky that copped the brunt of it and went down early. Cool Whip then expends all of his cooldowns, and it is an easy kill for Athletico to follow up on that. But that's a very solid take early on in the piece. Need to see more from Mindfreak here on the second point, but they're still persisting with the Doomfist and the Sombra. I have not seen it work so far this season of Contenders in AU.
Well, they're going to try and dive onto the attacking team Athletico. Going to go down underneath and back around to the left. Going to essentially allow them a free walk onto the point should they choose to take it.
At least when it comes to this point, it's very easy for Cool Whip to get some high ground, and that's where Doomfist wants to be. Makes it a lot easier to dive in, get a big shield.
For now, the point being contested here. Gob kind of low. Eevee uses the sound barrier here on attack as well. But Kamskis comes in straight away, as you said, with a very big EMP. Wipes all of those shields. The sound barrier is muted.
For anyone that doesn't know, if you get EMP'd while the sound barrier is on, all the shields get cancelled. I mean, even for example, Zarya, for Zenyatta, your shield gets cancelled. So EMP just absolutely ruining that push from Athletico. Perfect stuff from Kamskis. A very economic fight for Mindfreak as well, as they've built up 4. They only used 2. Well, Athletico only used one in there as well. At least Mindfreak were able to hold on and sort of turn some momentum back in their favour. Yeah, Kamski's in behind as well, but the Graviton Surge going to come out here. What happened there? Yeah, that seems like they Graviton Surge themselves, but I'm not sure. Lasky's going to go down. Eevee picked up there by Goobs as well. Trance coming through. Cool Whip has the Meteor Strike, but who can you find when everyone's staying alive? Comes right on top of Zarya's shield. That should charge USMC right up as well. Athletico onto the point, but it is right now being contested by Mindfreak. Nice work from Kamskis. EMP's available, as well as that Primal Rage. Hopefully they only need to use one. Lasky's going to come out first there as well. And one would think that this should be enough to stop this next push in his tracks. Yeah, definitely seems so. Cool Whip has gone down, but that's not a major concern right now for Mindfreak. Nano to keep Lasky alive, and that might just be the nail in the coffin in this fight for Athletico, as that extra damage coming out from Lasky on the Winston is going to be able to clean things up now. I think what happened actually with USMC's grab is that it probably hit one of the bubbles out from Lasky. He would have dropped his Winston barrier down, and the grab just got stuck on that. And so it didn't really connect too much, and I think Lasky might have got caught in it. That's why he went down so early in that fight. Kamskis, I gotta say, great job from him in that final fight, being able to get the hack onto Gob and finish him off, completely clipping him out on Sombra. Not an easy task. Looks easy, but it's not. And that's built himself up an EMP in that one fight as well.
Lurking with really another EMP right in the thick of things, ready to go. You're going to get caught out there, has to translocate. Gob going to use the Primal Rage. Athletico pushing in, self-destruct you can see being used as well. Gob very low, and Zol going to clean up Christoph as well. So Athletico going to get forced onto the point. Mindfreak is really struggling right here. Kamskis finally uses that EMP. Cool Whip has a Meteor Strike available as well, but once again, you can see the Trance is available and used here by Athletico, but Money comes right out of Trance right as that Meteor Strike comes in on top of his head. Yeah, looking very solid right now for Mindfreak. A few little errors to talk about, but for the moment, the fight does still persist. Athletico trying to hang on, but it looks like inevitably they will fall. Now, what I was talking about, Kamski's getting caught there on the Sombra, just because of the awareness of Athletico. Zol spamming away behind him with D.Va, never needs to reload, so he can just fire
really at any point that he wants to. Then Termo's starting to put pressure on him. As soon as Kamskis gets spotted, he knows if he gets shield bashed, if he gets stunned, he dies. He has to translocate out, and in that very small window that Athletico have, they push forward, they get the grab, and that allows them onto the point. But in the end, Kamskis comes back with the EMP. He survives long enough, and the rest of the team survives long enough that Athletico aren't able to get a tick even on the board, despite how well they played that one out. Again, Kamskis does get caught on the back from Termo. This time, not as impactful. Athletico can't be as explosive because the fact that they forced him out. They just don't have anything to work with right now. They don't have any ultimates. They can't explode onto the point right now. They need to play a little bit slower, find some picks. It looks like that's not going to happen.
No, it's not. Termo, the first one to go down there. The self-destruct was used from Christoph. Did zone a little bit, but found really nothing in the end, unfortunately. Kawip just charging up that Meteor Strike once again. We are now at 2 minutes 30 seconds, Jordan. Atletico started with 7 minutes, so Mindfreak has done a much, much better job here on point B than they did on point A. Yeah,
it's looking almost uncappable right now for Atletico. You're getting, again, to the point where you're thinking, like, literally, what can we do? What can we change up to make this work? Because it seems like everything we throw at Mindfreak is just not quite working out. Cool Whip's having a good time on the Doomfist, being very survivable. Kamski's getting great EMPs off.
Oh, wow. USMC straight away goes down to Cool Whip. A very important pick coming out there as well. Looked like maybe Atletico on the high ground had a little bit of advantage coming in on only half of Mindfreak, but it was not the case. Kawip eventually does go down to God, but it doesn't matter. Already down to 1 minute and 45 seconds here, Jordan. They are running out of time.
Yeah, definitely. But the one saving grace right now, Ben, is that Atletico more or less should have 6 ultimates for this fight. Domo will throw out the rally early. That's going to give everyone some armor. The dive comes in from Zol and Gob.
Yeah. 4 times the charm, maybe. Again, they go for the high ground here. They essentially have to. Kamski's lurking, ready to go with that EMP, throws it out. Self-destructors come through as well, won't find any kills. Only USMC remains here, and we'll see whether this Deadeye is available or not. Gets a lot of time to hold on to it. Christoph, the only one to go down, but the rest of the team are the ones finding the picks. Maybe that's enough. Cool Whip forced back. Atletico onto the point. 1 minute remains. They're at 50%. 66%, looking for 100.
Who can touch? No one.
No one.
Jeez
Louise, Elfishguy.
That's a bit of a little error from Mindfreak, because they had Primal Rage on Lasky as well. Really could have put that one down quite a lot more. Maybe they could have actually held off onto overtime, which really would have been fantastic. But in the end, it was always going to be capped by Athletico. It was just a case of how long it was going to take them, and that's actually about as quick as they could have got it. So Mindfreak will be a little disappointed by that, I think. Lansky going down with Primal Rage, whether he got hit by the Deadeye, or I'm not so sure. Maybe he was shield bashed and couldn't get the Primal Rage off in time. These things happen, but I'm sure Mindfreak could have held out for a little bit longer with that Primal Rage if they would have been able to touch the point, but they just could not quite manage to do that. So Athletico do get away with one a little bit free. Still, a very solid hold from Mindfreak. It took a long time for Athletico to punch on through.
Yeah, 6 minutes they used on point B, so that's a very long time. And considering how good an attack Atletico pushed onto point A, they decimated Mindfreak that time around. So the fact that Mindfreak could hold for 6 minutes on the second point, yeah, they've got a little bit more of an advantage, but 6 minutes is a very long time to hold, and it's quite impressive. So good job from both teams. Now it's Mindfreak's turn to attack. I would be expecting Atletico to do a little bit of a better job here on the first point than perhaps Mindfreak did.
Well, they would hope so. If they do not, then pressure's definitely on Atletico when we get to point B. But for now, all of that is up in the air. It's going to be Lasky with the Reinhardt instead of the Winston. That's a change up from what we saw of Atletico on the attack. But aside from that, the exact same. The same on the defense for Atletico. USMC, the designated Doomfist player here for Atletico. Termo will be on Sombra. Again, looking to pick off the supports here for Atletico before Mindfreak are able to get too close to that point. Doomfist not too bad against the tanks as well. He's really able to disrupt the positioning of Mindfreak, and that is such a key factor of the GOAT's composition. If your Reinhardt is pushed out of position, the rest of the team can crumble quite easily.
Look at this, Termo on the high ground behind. Everyone tries to throw out the hack. There we go, second time to charm will be successful. And they're going to try and take the high ground.
Yeah, not
exactly
super
what
impactful.
Athletico did.
It's not a big deal if you get the hack onto Zaya at this point. If they could have got it onto Ryan, that would have been huge. But Mindfreak will really continue with no problems at all. But no dive coming in from Athletico here, which is smart. That was the error that Mindfreak made. They dove into the close quarters when they didn't need to.
You don't want to do that if you can avoid it this time. Mindfreak going to walk onto the point a little bit slower than Athletico. Let's see how this fight plays out. Cool Whip finds the first pick. The D-Mech comes through. Turmo brings it back. Cool Whip with another. This is great. Kamskis does get rid of the Baby Diva, and well, see you later, Doomfist. Athletico going to start falling apart, Jordan. They're going to try and do what they can, but it will not be enough. Sure, it's not going to be 7 minutes for Mindfreak, but 6.5 ain't half bad either.
6.5 is still plenty of time to work with here for Mindfreak, as they have plenty of opportunities to beat Athletico's time. Going into this push now, looking across the lineup there for Mindfreak, the lowest ultimate percentage, 74% for Cool Whip. So you literally can expect 6 ultimates in this fight for Mindfreak. Athletico do have both the support ultimates, more or less, in this fight as well.
Yeah, Turmo with the EMP comes out first. That's pretty big. It's a 1-for-1 trade. God for Cool Whip. Kamskis follows it up. No more Sombra available for now. Athletico, let's see how this plays out for them on defense. You can see the Meteor Strike. Is it going to be defensive or offensive? Offensive, offensive will do as well. USMC trying to chase them down, may be successful. No!
This is huge,
Kamskis with a big pick. Evie onto the point, doing what she can with the Transcendence. Not going to be enough for now. Gob does find the D-Mech. Athletico, little by little, starting to bring it back, but you can see Mindfreak got a very long way with this first push.
Yeah, they got 1 tick already, which at this point, yeah, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's reasonable. At least they managed to get something for their efforts there. And it makes the job from here on out much easier. Athletico not super solid on the defense there. USMC just getting punished a little bit by the Brigitte.
Yes.
Kamskis chased down while he was trying to bully Goobs. Get your hands off my Goobs, says Kamski.
Wow.
And Athletico, this time, what do they have to hold with? Well, Turmo has built up another EMP in this last fight. So if he can get that one up, get it off again early in the fight, that'll really put a bit of disarray for Mindfreak.
You can see Kamskis in the back, just behind, throwing around the flail, seeing if there's any Sombra around there, trying to cause a little bit of trouble. Mindfreak, they'll take the high ground, move in back through the spawn, onto the point, right behind Lasky in the big shield. See if it's going to be enough. Evie loses half her life for now. Everyone's still okay. The EMP has not been used yet as well. There we go. Oh, just before the sound barrier, was it?
It only caught Cool Whip, Lasky, and Fracture. The other 3 still had the shield on. Still a winnable fight here for Mindfreak, though they are being bullied quite a lot by Gob. He's getting pretty low, needs to back up, getting some heals from Money. USMC down to a 1-shot, but will survive.
Yeah.
A very close thing for Athletico there. Very close indeed, but they will
hold. Look what
hold.
they've used, though. Mindfreak barely uses anything. The sound barrier comes out very aware of Turmo and that EMP, knowing that it potentially was up, ready to go again. Athletico going to have the Nano Boost, going to have the Trans, but that is literally it, Jordan. It's going to be a really tough fight for Athletico to win here, unless they can get 1 or 2 good picks. We'll see how Mindfreak plays this out, pushing towards the high ground once again. Cool Whip, let's see where this Graviton Surge goes, ready and waiting. If they can just capture 1 or 2 players out of position, that may be enough. Grab Surge, there we go. That's what we're talking about. Finds 2. They're right in the thick of things, and they're going to go down, Jordan.
That's going to be the final blow. If Lasky gets a good shatter off in this fight, that is going to be the end of Athletico. The swap onto Bastion now for USMC.
Oh, man. You know you're getting desperate when the Bastion comes out on defense. There you go. Good positioning. Can he get the kills he needs? A lot of damage actually coming through here. Still staying alive. Good support coming out from the team as well. Self-destruct going to force the Bastion back. Zol going to go down as well. Bastion back out on it. Yes, getting ever closer. The stun comes through. Brigitte in the Bastion's face. But USMC holding down the left click, Jordan.
Well, that's fine, I guess, for Mindfreak. They do get another tick. Would have loved to have finished things off, but not quite able to get the kill onto the Bastion. The self-destruct going a little too high. It didn't quite slot itself into the hallway that Bastion was sitting in, and Mindfreak aren't able to finish him off. So USMC, nicely done, able to charge up tank mode very quickly indeed, and that is the danger now that Mindfreak will need to be aware of. That said, Grab is available almost here for Cool Whip.
Yeah. Sometimes it almost feels like configuration tank is less useful.
Sometimes, yeah.
It's more so oh heck, everyone's on top of me. At least now I can move and shoot properly.
Yeah.
So we'll see how USMC chooses to use that.
Still a time advantage for Mindfreak at the moment, but only if they make this push work. If not, they will be once again facing a bit of a deficit if they even finish things off. Well, they're not liking this engage, deciding to rotate their positions.
Let's try that again.
Trying to find a favorable engage onto USMC, but that's going to be so tough.
You can see USMC will go configuration tank. Is that going to work? No, it's not.
Solo grab, Ben. That was a solo grab.
That'll do it for sure. But now they need to eliminate the rest of Athletico in a half-decent time. If they don't, they're not going to be able to capture the point, and everyone's going to get back on there. But for now, so very close, 87.9%. Gob up here on the Winston, trying to stay alive. Self-destruct. Where's it going to come out? Termo uses the EMP. Is this going to be enough for Athletico to win the round?
Well, that was a very good EMP as well, and a good follow-up onto Christoph. They make sure that he can't throw out the self-destruct. When he gets demec'd, it means he's forced to buy some more time, but it looks like the fight is still being won by Mindfreak. The EMP was not enough, and they might just go through here with a time advantage if they can get this one done quickly.
Man, so close. Termo on the point, the last hope. You'll see Zol try and get on as well. Is successful with the Diva. Now, Athletico has the better time, if only just. Evie jumps on. She's going to use the trance. That's going to slow things right down. May on there as well. You know, when you got the cryo freeze, you can just sit there, stay alive, make it very difficult. Finally, Mindfreak successful. Yeah. A good 20 seconds wasted, though. Yeah,
definitely a good stall. I mean, not a great stall from Athletico, but it is the difference now between what could have been pretty much exactly the same time. And, well, to be fair, it kind of still is exactly the same time, really, when you look at it. But just imagine the difference that a stall could have made there, and that a Primal Rage could have made for Mindfreak on that defense. With only 57 seconds left of Athletico's time, if they would have managed to get the Primal Rage out on the point, force that through to a stall into overtime, and then done exactly what they have here, it would be a tie minimum. And they would have an attack, and Athletico would not. But now we're here, a minute and a minute 15, still anyone's game.
Yeah.
And when it was in this situation on Hollywood, Athletico did come out with the win, but at that point they had a minute and a half advantage. This time, only 15 seconds. Mindfreak, their objective now is just to cap that first point out. You need to get something at least that you can defend. And further on, anything past that, going to be great. But right now, Mindfreak, really, they just need to put everything in the basket of capping out A.
Yeah.
Throw every ultimate if it comes to that. Ignore point B. At least you can hold point A.
I guess the point here, Jordan, well, a point, maybe not the point. Mindfreak only had 6.5 minutes and managed to find themselves another 15 seconds across the second point. Really, all comes out in the wash, to be perfectly honest. But now they will have to attack once again. 2 attacking phases in a row. 1 minute is not very long, considering you use half of it just getting to the point.
It's 2 fights maximum.
Yeah.
If Mindfreak get wiped really early on, but if it takes a long time to get a fight going, Gob could be punished.
You're going to try and push out. Yeah, nice little Zarya shield comes out, keeps him alive. Termo low.
Big pin.
Gob down, big plays from Cool Whip. Wow. That's going to make life very tough now for Athletico on defense. Mindfreak just needs to stay alive. They'll get some more time if they're successful here. They'll have a shot at point B if they can stay alive and find a pick or two, but it's taken them a while. Zol's about to get demec'd here, Jordan. And look at that, Mindfreak. Big plays, comes through, finding the kills.
Yeah, point A is going to be capped up, and looking across Mindfreak's roster now, some ultimates here for their push onto point B. Straight through main probably is where Mindfreak are going to go here. What does Athletico have to deal with it? Any swap-offs? Not yet. USMC nearly has the grab. But there's Coalescence for Goobs. There'll be an Earth Shatter for Lasky in the fight. Cool Whip will probably build up the grab. In fact, almost everyone will build up their ultimates. Fractured certainly should get there. So it's a big fight here for Mindfreak. Any ticks that they can get here onto the second point could be the difference between a win and a loss here on Hanamura.
Goob's going to throw out the Coalescence straight away. This might be enough to get him across the line. But Gob! Oh my goodness, the boop comes out as well. Everyone's knocked off. Graviton Surge, self-destruct on attack though. Not going to find any kills there.
Shatter.
That was a big shatter, maybe just a little bit late. Money comes through, uses the trance, keeping Athletico alive on defense. Lasky's gone down. Cool Whip knocked off the point. Goob's about to get picked up as well. Great plays coming out from Athletico. So close, but so far away from Mindfreak. They will be unsuccessful on point B.
Yeah, really solid defense on point B. Again, Athletico are very good at playing from behind, playing from their disadvantage because they're the ones on the front foot. Yep. They're putting the pressure onto Mindfreak before those ultimates come across. What Mindfreak needed to do there was to throw their ults early to start the fight off well, and they just did not. Gob, he gets the pin. He also knocks a couple of players off into the little trough, and unfortunately for Mindfreak, one of those players was Lasky. Took him so long to get back up. The Earthshatter comes across.
Well, so incredibly immobile.
It's a good Earthshatter, to be fair, but there was no follow-up. No one available. Mindfreak had already lost 3 players at that point, and now Athletico, they have to cap out first.
We have a serious chance for a draw here on Hanamura, Jordan. Very likely right now, if we consider how successful Athletico was on their first phase of attacking towards A. They did it in a matter of seconds. When it came to Objective B, it was a very different story. Mindfreak, look, to be fair, they made a pretty big mistake when they defended A the first time. If they can avoid that this time around, a very different team comp for them on defense as well.
Well, one hero difference. But you're right, it does really change the dynamic of the way that Mindfreak do play out with this team composition, even though it's only a Winston for a Reinhardt. Mate. Obviously, the Reinhardt here for Lasky means that they're all going to play behind him. Instead of diving in like what Mindfreak were doing last time, they're going to try and buy themselves a lot more time on that point. And if they can just sit there and not die, that's really the whole objective right now for Mindfreak, is just not die. They don't even need to win fights. They just need to stay alive.
The dive comes out from the Winston, maybe a little bit unsuccessful there from Gob. Going to get forced back as well. The Reinhardt shield still up and strong. Second time's a charm. Kamskis go down to Turbo. Cool Whip. A big play once again, but no Reinhardt available now for Mindfreak. Athletico getting the picks that they need. Fraction about to go down. See you later. They're not yet on the point, but they should be there.
How's
very
Christoph
shortly.
alive?
I don't even know. Look at that. The Zarya bubble coming on out onto Christoph. But Athletico will capture this. They'll have about 50 seconds, Jordan, a little bit more than Mindfreak had as well. They only got it in the overtime.
Well, worst case scenario now for Athletico is that it is going to be a draw here on Hanamura, but they still have an opportunity to win now. Athletico will push in 47 seconds. Still probably only enough time for one real committed push. Maybe they'll get a trickle stagger onto the point if they lose the fight here, but really it's now or never for Athletico to win this round and get off the 2-1 advantage.
Who gets the first Graviton Surge? Cool Whip's been so strong on Zarya. We'll see whether it plays out this time or not. Lasky, obviously, big shield, big defensive advantage right now. Cool Whip is...
That is a pick for sure.
Throws it out right behind it. We'll see whether they can follow up with the defense, but it's Gob and Money finding the first 2 kills. Self-destruct comes out as well. This might be enough. They only need 33%. No one's on the point. Athletico win Hanamura.
Wow, so unfortunate for Mindfreak. Again, such a close affair, but Fractured gets caught off by Money. I don't know how. Again, it must have just been Money with a 5-ball, something like that, because he was up on that high ground, and Fractured would have been down on the low ground with his team, so sniped over the Reinhardt shield, something like that. One player down, even though it was a nice grab, they were all stuck behind the pillar, and very, very difficult in the end there, actually, for Mindfreak to get any kills as a result. And then, obviously, Athletico, because of the fight going for so long, they're able to charge up those crucial ultimates, and that is the tipping point where Athletico tips it over a little bit. Unfortunate for Mindfreak, it was another very close affair, but Athletico now with the 2-1 lead.
Jordan, these have been some very exciting maps, to be perfectly honest. This is one of the closest matchups that we've seen in quite a while. Mindfreak really surprising us, but at the moment, Athletico just when they need to be that little bit better, they truly are.
Yeah, exactly. Looking at this fight in particular, as well as when we were looking for Mindfreak, not that fight actually, it'll be the next fight we see on the replay package if we do get it. But it's Mindfreak on the defense. If you watched that, you saw how low Turmo got both times, but he still managed to survive. He was down to a 1-shot at 2 separate points in that initial fight, but if he would have dropped on the first, it was probably turnaroundable for Mindfreak. I understand that's not a word, but you know what I mean. It would have been possible for Mindfreak to turn that fight around. If he would have died at the second time that he got low, maybe still it would have fallen the way of Athletico because they already had such an advantage at that point. But 2 times he gets very low, 2 times he's kept alive by the rest of the players on his team. And for Mindfreak, they're just not able to find that critical kill that they needed to trade out effectively.
So close, but so far away. 2 maps going to 4 and 3, Jordan. It doesn't get much closer than that, to be perfectly honest. We could have so very easily had a draw there on Assault, not this time around. That leaves Route 66. This one going to be picked by Mindfreak. They're going to need to come out and get a victory here on Escort. If they do, we're going to map 5, our tiebreaker. If they don't, if it's a draw, if it's something silly like that, it doesn't matter. Athletico come through with the win.
Yeah.
Very, very close. Everything up for grabs right now.
And as I was saying before this match, or during Hanamura, if we get to Route 66 and Athletico has a 2-1 lead, I'm a little bit worried now for Mindfreak. Termo can go on to Farah here on Route 66, at least on attack. Maybe not so much on defense. But if he does do that on attack, I think for Mindfreak, they weren't really able to find a way to deal with him at all. He was essentially roaming free and pumping out the damage. And that could be very problematic for Mindfreak, I think. So we'll see what actually does end up getting run here from both sides. Looks like Athletico to start off on the attack. Termo is hovering Brigitte, so maybe there won't be anything too fancy in that department. But when USMC was playing Hanzo, Termo was playing Farah. So still not yet 100% on what's going to be happening here unless USMC does decide to inevitably swap off onto Zaya. We'll see what happens when they do run out of the gates. But I do think if things stall up a little bit here, Termo definitely can swap over onto Farah. Otherwise, it's just goats versus goats. USMC, the only real change up, nope, has decided to go to Zaya. But it'll be the low ground offensive hold from Mindfreak, as is pretty much the meta now.
Yeah, seems to be the norm, that is for sure. Out behind that Reinhardt shield to see what Athletico can do with both this D.Va and the Winston. And it's going to be Lasky going down first. USMC going to be the one cleaning that up. So this does put Athletico in the prime position to get the payload moving, and they'll do that very, very quickly. Nice, clean little pick there. Unfortunately for Mindfreak, they're going to lose Fractured quite late in that, so they're going to be without one of their supports.
Oh, well, that said, Lucio is the one, if you're going to lose it late, that you would want to lose because he can get back so quickly. I guess Lucio or Wrecking Ball, but in this case, you're not really going to be seeing too much Wrecking Ball.
I don't think Wrecking Ball is going to be very good at healing, though.
No, definitely not. But those are the two that might go back to the point a little bit quicker. I think they'll be okay here, Mindfreak. The trouble is going to be getting out and getting in a good position here. It's not going to be so easy as they're going to be hassled along the way.
Coalescence is available and now used by Mindfreak. Goop's doing what he can. Try and push back just a little bit here. We follow out Lasky right now up to 77%. But I don't know if he's going to have enough opportunity here to try and get out this Earth Shatter. The barrier very low, almost going down 99. The Primal Rage has popped as well. There we go, charges through. Not sure whether he's going to use it or not. A lot of offensive ultimates available here for Athletico. And God will pop that Primal Rage. Termo finds one, and all of the kills going in the favor of Athletico. They will successfully capture Objective A here with the payload moving into Phase 2.
Cluster of fun, that fight. But only one ultimate being thrown out from the entire roster of players here. And that's Gob, who has swapped over onto Reinhardt anyway. Yeah. Looking to block this shatter of Lasky, which he is quite sure is on the cards.
Almost could have got two Earth Shatters up in that time.
Yeah. So far, only one ultimate. This is the fight where things really start to explode a little bit. Everything's going to be thrown out.
Rally used by Kamskis there on the Brigitte. Armor all around now for Mindfreak here on defense. That's a nice Earth Shatter coming out as well. That's precisely what Mindfreak wanted. Graviton Surge self-destruct now for Athletico on attack. Who are we going to find? Unfortunately for them, the answer is no one. Both self-destructs coming up with absolutely nothing. After all of that, the payload continues to move. Very aggressive right now, Athletico behind Muddy, and that Transcendence, another Earth Shatter thrown out there from Gob as well. Fractured will go down. Lasky brings one back. This slows them down perhaps just a little bit, but when Lasky goes down, when Christoph's demeched, the payload moves forward.
So quickly, once the Reinhardt is dead, the rest follow. And unfortunately for Mindfreak, it is their Reinhardt that goes down. Trade out for Termo, which in the end, not so ideal for Mindfreak. It's going to allow Athletico to push on through. They've set themselves up with some good positions here. If a contest will come out from Mindfreak, I have to suspect that it will. They've got a lot here. Transcendence will allow them to actually get out safely, if need be. Shatter for both Reinhardt.
Yeah, Pricing them back up again, but these fights lasting quite a while, Jordan. Last time it was Athletico. This time, we'll see whether Gob can be successful once again. Holding his right click, and that is a very big Earth Shatter coming through. They knock him down, but they don't find the kills. It's actually Mindfreak who find the picks. Jordan Gob going to get picked up there as well. And all of a sudden, even though it was a half-decent Earth Shatter coming out from Gob, it's Mindfreak who get the kills. It's
very cheeky from Gob there, because that's just a tactic for Reinhardt when you're trying to escape, when you're trying to back away to keep your shield up and to keep you moving fast, is you just jump and then hold your shield up. Jump and hold your shield up. Jump and hold your shield back as you go back. And that kind of signals to Mindfreak that he's trying to back away, but instead he uses that as a bait, gets a nice Earth Shatter. Unfortunately, again, Athletico weren't able to follow up on that, but nicely done from Gob.
Are you ready? Are you ready for a big one? Are you ready for a big Diva bomb, Jordan? I'm ready, but it's not coming out yet. A little bit disappointed. We'll have to wait a little bit longer. Graviton Surge comes through. Here's the self-destruct, looking for a number of kills. Not going to find it, however. USMC throws out one of his own, and it's Turbo coming through with the flower, finding 2 kills. Athletico are going to win this fight. 150 on the clock, pushing through to Objective B, and they should be successful.
Yeah, Gob with a few kills there as well. He's charged up another Shatter, so is Lasky. A little bit of time wasted there for Athletico, as Mindfreak do put them down to 1:40 before the extra time is added. 3 minutes to get through the third phase of the map, which traditionally is the most difficult. So for Athletico, still some worrisome times ahead. Need to hope that USMC will be able to build another grab up. Gob's going to get a good Earth Shatter across. Lasky fairly low there.
Oh, there's the Earth Shatter coming through, but it's all who goes down. Graviton Surge, no, not yet, but it is a sound barrier for Mindfreak on defense. Goops has a trance as well. That's their last hope. They want to try and win this fight. Athletico continues with the payload. Gob is low, stays alive for now, but it's Kristoff who gets demech. That's a good pick here for Athletico. Might be enough. There you go, Brigida down as well. Gob pushes forward, charges on. See you later, but Cool Whip brings it back. Maybe this will be enough for Athletico to keep going, even without the Reinhardt.
Yeah, such a big pick from USMC to get Kristoff. He almost got out of there on the Diva, but obviously nothing can stop that laser that USMC has. His left click on Zaya. And for Kristoff, he was an easy cleanup.
Yeah.
Allows the rest to kind of follow up, as without the mech, the survivability does drop quite significantly for Mindfreak. Now they want to do that again, because a grab is available.
It is indeed. It's going to be up to Goobs here to maybe use the Transcendence to keep the team alive, waiting for USMC to throw this one out. Eevee goes low, stays up for now. Turmo, the low one as well. Graviton Surge available. Throw it out. Let's go. Q time. Actually going to be Mindfreak who throws it out first. USMC doing what he can to hold on to his. Zol comes through with a very aggressive self-destruct. Well, that's going to keep them off the payload. Yeah, nicely used, Jordan. I wanted to see it sooner, but they did not even need it. Kristoff going to get demech. You'll see Fractured, the last hope, wants to jump on the payload. It's a very tough life potentially here when you're coming out as a support player. Kuwit forced to swap across, but there's only so much that Wrecking Ball can do in this sort of situation, really. Going to be one dead hamster.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like only a matter of time before this is finished off for Athletico. Fractured dancing around on Lucio, but that'll be the end of that. And Ben, one thing that I think most people might have missed is that in that grab that Athletico got caught in, Gob was able to get his Shatter down. It was a big Shatter as well. And that meant that there was no follow-up into the grab that Mindfreak threw. Sure, there was a self-destruct that came across, but Gob was still alive. He was still able to hold the shield up. As the self-destruct comes over the back, everyone from Mindfreak is lying on the floor in front of Gob. He has no qualms about turning around, putting his shield up, keeping his team alive, and as a result, the wipe comes across from Athletico, and then the stag up from Mindfreak as they try to hold on as much time as possible. 55 seconds is what Athletico have to play with should this get through to another overtime, which at this point, based on how things have gone in the last couple of matches, does seem likely.
Yeah, for sure. For me, the big talking point there for Athletico was, whilst I was eager to see them use up all their ultimates offensively, as you said, held onto the Earth Shatter, used it defensively, held onto the Graviton Surge, used it to zone. In the end, they were successful.
I'm sure that's exactly what USMC was trying to do.
It was right there on the payload. What are they supposed to do?
Well, in theory, they're supposed to get on the payload, so it might have been good.
It would suck them in, I suppose, and then they would almost immediately die by themselves. So either way, it worked. They'll do it with 55 seconds remaining. Now the pressure is on Mindfreak. Athletico 2-1 up. It's a best of 4 essentially, Jordan, but if we go 2-2, of course we do go and play that tiebreaker. Look, Jordan, if we go to a tiebreaker here, I think it's going to go all the way. Yeah.
Again, we've got the Hanzo for the attacking side, and it'll be the same as what USMC used it for, which is just to get that Sonic Arrow onto the crate. You can see it fired off there. Just confirming that Athletico aren't really holding in a cheeky position up in that crate that is going to be able to cause a lot of a problem for Mindfreak. In the end, actually, quite a bit more of a defensive hold. I mean, I say defensive. It's not really defensive or aggressive. It's just a different position from Athletico, but it's a lot further back toward Big Earls. And that's because they have the Winston. They're trying to play a little bit more of that high ground divey game as opposed to battling it out on the low ground, on the flat area.
It's what we used to see a lot of, a little bit less this season, Jordan. Let's see how it plays out here for Athletico right now. Seems to me maybe Athletico has a bit of an advantage. They do have the high ground there as well with Zol. He's going to drop off right now. Going to push around the corner ever slowly. They got a bit of a free run with the payload, but that will now, of course, stop. If you look at the ultimate charge, everyone relatively low. Not that much damage actually going down. Finally, Gob jumps on top of the payload here for Athletico on defense. Going to see whether to continue up with anything, but it's Lasky who gets the first pick. The Winston is down. Athletico in a bad spot.
Oh, Lasky getting low there, but USMC should be picked off here. However, Lasky will drop. It's not going to be enough for Athletico to hold on, though. Mindfreak will continue to press the issue.
Look at all these ultimates. So many.
Hopefully for Mindfreak, they don't need to use any to clean things up here, especially with that pick of money. Gob trying so desperately to be the saving grace with the barrier, but unfortunately will not be enough. And that pretty much, I think, ensures Mindfreak here will go through without too much of a contest.
They're going to have 6.
Close.
The Overwatch full house is going to be available. One last push. They're going to throw what they can here at the first objective, Jordan. Unsure if this is smart or not, but Kuwip's going to find Zol to start things off. Obviously, the Diva was the first one on, and Christoph just throws out the self-destruct, and that'll be enough to win Objective A here for Mindfreak. To be fair, Athletico have slowed them down a little bit. Let's see how far they can get here. They're going to push on all the way through, one would expect. We've seen it before. Are they going to make the most of this? No, they're not.
In the end, it was a nice taxi, I guess, from Eevee that did allow Money to get back into position quickly enough for Athletico to recontest. But to be fair, to be honest, Mindfreak will not be disappointed by that at all. It's really cost them almost no time at all, and also burned a few ultimates from Athletico. Mindfreak of themselves have also thrown a few in there.
They used 5, Jordan. They had 6 available, so that was actually quite a lot invested here from Mindfreak. This time they'll only have the sound barrier to use, and it's Gob who goes down first. Self-destruct comes through, does find Goobs. That's a half-decent pick. Unsure whether it's enough or not. Lasky's still alive. Zol in the back line, and Athletico going to find a couple of good picks there. Should win them this fight.
Yeah, well, when your Reinhardt goes down early, not much you can do about the self-destruct. Athletico, nicely done, but might have overcommitted a little bit there. Zol getting demeched and now killed. Quite staggered.
They look to be in a good position, but unfortunately, Mindfreak do manage to find the advantage here. The payload continues on. Now Mindfreak in a much better spot, again, considering they used 5 ultimates just to get across Objective A.
Well, it means that their 5 ultimates are going to come up a lot earlier than Athletico's. So it's a bit of 1 for 1, 1 for 1, 1 for 1. Athletico will give it another crack, but Earth Shatter here for Lasky could just shut it down.
Will throw it through, not half bad to be honest. Termo the first one down, Trans popped by Money. Will it be enough to give Athletico the edge or not? The payload continues. Gob stays alive, but it's a Graviton Surge on top of him. Uses that defensive Earth Shatter, throws it through, but Mindfreak still find the picks. USMC up to 90%, getting forced back here by the Diva. Normally, Diva up against the Zarya isn't a great fight for the mech. The right click really does nothing up against the laser, but in this scenario, Jordan, Mindfreak now with 4 minutes and 3 ultimates to push through this final phase. And considering Athletico only had 55 seconds left, this is looking pretty good.
Well, they've gone a little bit quicker than Athletico up to this point, but that seems to have been the trend throughout this series so far, where Mindfreak have been good through the first half or 2/3 of the map, but once it gets to the final third, to the final point, that's where Mindfreak really slows down. So, the big shatter here.
Yeah,
not
only
too
finds
bad.
Termo. Mindfreak on the back foot for half a second as Athletico does throw out the Graviton Surge. They all stay alive, and it's only Termo who's gone down there. Lasky finds Gob. It's counterpart onto counterpart, and right now Mindfreak coming out in the advantage position. Christoph does exactly the same here, Jordan. Athletico, they've got the ultimates, but they've got no one alive.
Yeah, but that's fine, I think, for Athletico at this point. Mindfreak just have nothing to really continue this push going. Athletico should win the next fight. And then Mindfreak have to start from square one, and time is going to really tick away at that point. So Athletico are playing the long game, where Mindfreak have really invested everything already.
They have indeed, but you can see the payload is getting ever closer. Cobb does use that Earth Shatter. Not half bad, to be honest. The rest of the team are going to clean Mindfreak up. Still, Evie and Money have their ultimates available. They did not need to use these. Termo going to have the rally available as well. So Athletico looking pretty good here on defense. They're going to need to look good, though, with 2.5 minutes still remaining.
Yeah, ult economy management is a little bit of a problem for Mindfreak, at least here on Route 66 by the looks of things. Unfortunately now, Athletico have set themselves quite strongly here to defend point C. I think it might be tough actually for Mindfreak to get this one done with a better time than Athletico. It'll take a few fights to actually get themselves in an advantageous position where they can really win one strongly enough.
Graviton Surge coming out from Mindfreak. Lasky still has the Earth Shatter as well. They're throwing quite a lot into this fight. Gob going to go down. Gob almost gets picked up there, but is kept alive, I think, by Money and a decent Transcendence, Jordan.
Oh,
but it's Gob with the big Earth Shatter.
Yeah, Gob has just been a solid hunk of, I don't know, Reinhardt. When he's been playing Reinhardt.
Yeah.
We've barely seen a shatter that's gone awry for him. And Athletico definitely reaping the rewards. Another expensive fight for Mindfreak where they really get nothing done. They had a grab in there, they had a rally in there, they had an Earth Shatter in there, and I don't think they even really got a kill at all. So for Mindfreak, they've basically hit struggle street now on Route 66. It looked so good up to this point, but Athletico really dictating the game now, and Mindfreak, it's starting to slip away from them.
It certainly is. It's getting a little bit difficult now. Sound barrier on attack from Mindfreak, but the Graviton Surge going to hold them all on top of the payload. Look at that. Athletico going to clean them up. Not much needed to be used at all. Just one big white gravity well. Does it all. Easy peasy. 59 seconds on the clock, and Athletico looking very strong here on defense, Jordan. Yeah,
no world in which Athletico does not go through with an advantage, at least into overtime, but for Mindfreak, it seems almost impossible for them to cap out now. Gobber's got himself a shatter coming up here. 2 support ultimates for Athletico to hold off with. What can Mindfreak do? It's their last chance.
Earth Shatter comes through. Athletico, that was slightly less successful, but it doesn't matter. See you later. Zol comes through. One big Diva bomb will put the nail in the coffin here. 25 seconds on the clock. At least, if anything is in Mindfreak's favour, is the fact that the payload's had so long to move backwards that it's virtually back at the start, and they should be able to get on there in the nick of time.
Yeah, for Christoph, unfortunately, he does not have the mech up just yet, so they're going to start the fight with a baby Diva.
Yep, and no support either. Fracture does go down. Literally everything being thrown into the same fight. Evie will get picked off by Christoph. Actually, a number of good kills going across to Mindfreak right now, but there is a lot of space they need to cover right now. They'll sit on the payload, but surely Athletico can do something about this.
With a grab and a shatter, Athletico most certainly can do something about it. Mindfreak need to be on the front foot again here. They've had this opportunity multiple times and they've always lost because Athletico were the first one to start the fight. The first one to start it on their own terms. Let's see if that happens again. Lasky, where is the shatter?
Graviton Surge comes out. Gob with an Earth Shatter ready for him, but Gob goes down. That is less than ideal for sure. Termo picks up Lasky. Zol coming through as the hero. Once again, what can USMC do on the Zarya, but has no energy charged at all? We look at it right now. Athletico getting the picks. Athletico successful. Athletico defeat Mindfreak 3-1 in this best of 4. Congratulations, considering how it started, Jordan. To be fair, these were some very close maps, but in the end, I think it's safe to say Athletico just that little bit better.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what we expected out of this matchup. It was a bit of a surprise, actually, to see Mindfreak being able to knock over Ilios, and to be fair, that one could have very easily gone the way of Athletico as well. It was pretty close, up to 99-99 on multiple rounds, but in the end, they were able to get that map. There was other maps here. I mean, you look across Hollywood and Hanamura, and you think both of those could have gone the way of Mindfreak if they would have had a bit of an advantage in 1 or 2 fights, or they would have held on to another ultimate, or any small little factor that might have caused a butterfly effect there for Mindfreak might have resulted in a map win for them. But like you said, Athletico today, just a little bit more solid. When it really mattered, when push came to shove, Athletico were the ones that had the better ult economy. They had the better execution when it came to their ult. I think it was quite evident that Gob was winning most of the Reinhardt battles as well. Yeah. And that is such a big factor in this current meta as well. So that's really big for Athletico. I mean, across the board, Athletico just looked 10-15% better in most cases, in most fights, and that was enough to get them over the line here. But a very close result, and I've got to say, I think, sure, congratulations Athletico for winning this series, but also, you've got to give a shout out to Mindfreak because the way that they played that out, very, very solid stuff. They're looking super solid for a team that has been in Contenders for only 2 weeks.
Yeah, if anything here is playing in Mindfreak's favour, I think it is that they've had that opportunity to play through trials, that they played together a little bit longer perhaps as a team, while Athletico is a team of strong Contenders players from Season 2 with a few extras who, to be fair, have been in the scene quite a while. Yeah. Maybe that'll take them a little bit of time to gel together as well, but Athletico gets the victory, 3-1. That should lock them into second place in Group A's ladder. It's going to bump Mindfreak down probably to third. We'll have to wait till the end of the day to see how that one plays out with one more match remaining. But overall, Jordan, if you're a Mindfreak fan or if you're an Athletico fan, both of those teams, their supporters probably right now feeling, you know what? I think we're looking pretty good this season. Yeah,
absolutely. Obviously, Athletico will probably be a little disappointed to drop a map here. I think if you're Athletico, you're going up against a team that has never played in Contenders before. This is their second week. You really want to be getting a 4-0 there. So it's not the perfect run for them that they really would have liked. But end of the day, it is still a match victory. We'll still keep them up within the top 3 quite safely within the top 3 as well. Now that Blank has been defeated by Sydney Drop Bears, and we're yet to see that Sydney Drop Bears versus Athletico match where things are going to get a little bit interesting then between place number 2 and place number 3.
Yeah, it certainly will, Jordan. So it is time for our Macca's play of the game. Let's go and take a look at what it will be. A McDonald's Australia play of the game between Mindfreak and Athletico. It is another Diva self-destruct. Jordan, we've seen a lot of these, but this one was absolutely perfect. Look at that, right on either side of the shield. There was nothing that they could do.
Yeah, pretty special, that one, I think. Poor Money will survive, but there's nothing you can do against a self-destruct like that one. Perfect positioning from Christoph. Obviously, a nice setup there as well from Cool Whip, who did have the Graviton Surge chiming in, playing a part of that Macca's play of the game as well.
So many of these we have seen have been either the Graviton Surge from the Zarya or the Diva self-destruct, but these have been the big plays. And to be fair, some of them weren't as good last season. I feel like they're just starting to get that coordination together. The self-destructs are placed better. The Graviton Surges are landing in the right spot.
It's hard to be, because like in this kind of a meta right now, it's hard for example, an individual DPS player to kind of pop off. You don't see Genji so much. You don't see Widows having the effect. You don't see Doomfist really having the effect that they did last season. I mean, maybe not necessarily the same Doomfist, obviously, but for Genji and Widowmaker, certainly last season, the predominant amount of our Macca's play of the games were DPS players, Junkrats as well with the Riptide, we saw a lot. But this season, we're not seeing that because the effectiveness of DPS players against the GOATS composition is so difficult. You can't make it happen. You can't, as a Widowmaker, pop off with headshots like that when there's just so much health. And so you have to have that big impact play out from the self-destruct, which is going to blow everybody up at one point, because there's nothing else really that can happen to have that much of an impact.
Well, Jordan, if Season 2 was the season of the DPS and Season 3 is the season of the tanks, maybe the start of 2019 is going to be the season of the supports. But we'll have to wait and see. Well, that is 2 from 2 done. We have one more match coming up. It's going to be Kraken up against Legacy Esports, and we will see you right after this break.